What is up, everybody? Ray and Brennan here with Franchise Tag Fantasy Football, bringing you that week full recap, letting you guys know what we saw during the games and what we thought of when we're sitting there watching some of these debacles, as one would say. As always, though, please hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Brennan,
Yes, sir.
what did you think? What you think of today? Today was a wild day.
I'm just sad because like my big money leagues, I'm like 1-3 and 0-4, and so it hurts, but
It's bad for the brand.
it's bad for the brand. And
Yeah,
Colts losing too, just another slap in the face.
we're both on bad beats this week. Let me tell
Yes,
you.
we are.
I had the Javonte Williams and Aaron Jones stack, and it hurt me pretty bad. So
I'm right there with you. So
and Chris Olave too,
that
and
hurts. Oh,
yeah,
you're
and
on
the Steelers defense.
well, that's
Yes,
yeah.
really tough one this week. Let me tell you, but that's the big league. Anyways, Brennan, let's talk about some of the news, some of the injuries that had happened today, so that we can get ready for those waiver shows, that waiver to hit, and get our minds right for this week 5 to come back strong, right? To come back strong.
Yeah. So week 5, Javonte had a hip flexor for this game, and it sounds like he's gonna be fine, but it's rough for anybody who's a Javonte Williams owner right now knows it's really rough because the capital where you took him at and probably where you're at, you don't have any other expenses to where you can't not start him. So you're gonna have to roll him out again because he says he's probably gonna play this week, and I don't know what to do with him. It's frustrating. He's very frustrating.
It is, because you saw this week would have probably been the week that he would have actually shown us something. And you know what I was going to do? Try and move him right then and there.
Yeah,
like, I'm done with
honestly,
this.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Because I don't get it. Like, they just don't hand the ball off to him. And he is very clearly the best option they have. But I don't know, that undrafted rookie they have, he looked pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
he didn't do too bad today. But
about it.
another news note: T. Higgins is a fractured rib, so I think he'll be out for a few weeks because ribs injuries for wide receivers just doesn't sound like a fun time. And they did say he'll probably be out for a few weeks. So sorry, T. owners.
I just want to point out Tyler Boyd is not an option for me right now.
We'll talk about it Cincy side because
Yeah.
it's a little spicy over there right now.
Yeah.
Other news: Mike Evans pulled his hamstring. We don't know the severity of it. We don't know if he'll be out next week. But hamstrings are really tricky, and he's older, so it does suck because he's having a stellar year. But it is what it is. So we just kind of have to wait to see how he practices, if he does practice. So just be on the lookout for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then for officially part of the tight end wasteland, Pat Freiermuth pulled his hamstring, and we'll talk about the Steelers. Well, Ray will talk about the Steelers side of the ball, but he pulled his hamstring, so he'll probably be out for some time too.
Yep. And then, like, I guess for the last part of this, Devontae did get hurt during the game today. I thought he broke his collarbone, but apparently he didn't. He came back out, but he said at the press conference that he had afterwards, he is hurting pretty bad. So
Yeah,
definitely something to monitor, especially if Jimmy G isn't back. Like, I think they need Jimmy G for him to be really viable.
you still got to
Obviously-
start if he rolls out though. 'cause
Yeah. But like what I'm saying is, like, and he scored a touchdown too, by the way. That was a touchdown on the goal
well,
line.
it's just the Raiders' fault for not doing anything like that, but they still got a touchdown at the end of it though. It just hurts fantasy wise.
Hurts me. But but yeah, like I think that with Jimmy G, he is like truly like real nice to start every week kind of thing,
Yeah.
That other guy ain't it. So
Yeah.
not yet at least.
Okay.
Any other news that you'd like to peruse?
No, there's no other big news, so I'm
Okay.
gonna wait till the next couple episodes to talk about the news and notes. I'll get you all spiced up for the Wednesday, Thursday shows. But we'll start with the first game, London game. Love to wake up at 6:30 to watch some football. Atlanta 7, Jacksonville 23. I'm going to talk about the Falcons side of the ball. So Desmond Ridder still sucks. And after today, he might be the worst quarterback in the league because another quarterback who I thought was the worst actually played pretty good. I really hope for the Falcons fantasy football side of the ball, they start Tyler Heineke because Desmond Ridder sucks. His numbers today: 19 for 31, 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, which one was a pick 6. Bijan Robinson's fine. He's going to be a part of this. He's going to be a workhorse. You're where you took him. You're happy. But the receivers, I don't know if we can roll out Drake London, and Kyle Pitts is officially part of the tight end wasteland. We said this last episode, and Jonnu Smith is ahead of him with targets, which is crazy.
It pains me to say it, but I'll say it for the second week in a row, maybe third week in a row. Kyle Pitts is a cut candidate for me.
I fully agree with that.
Let somebody else land on that landmine. If you can try and trade him for something, anything like a Tyler Higbee or something like that,
good luck.
Maybe, but
good luck.
Yeah. Other than that, I got nothing else. And Tyler Algier is not startable in any capacity right now. No. If Bijan goes down, yeah. But if Bijan goes down, he will be very viable.
I agree.
Very, because he's going to touch the ball 30 times a game.
Yes.
Is it going to be great? No. But on the other side of the ball, Jacksonville side of the ball, I think there's still something wrong with the Jacksonville offense. Trevor Lawrence did not look great during this game, and he made a lot of odd decisions with the ball. And the fact that Calvin Ridley isn't being utilized as the alpha number one right now is still really confusing to me. The box score definitely shows more than what you actually saw during the game. Aside from all those things, your pieces were fine. I mean, like Calvin Ridley was fine this week with 10 points, 10.5 points because he scored.
Yes.
Christian Kirk is definitely the target hog right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Evan Ingram is a weekly start, and one of my victory laps so far this episode. I'm going to take that one on my start of the week. So, Tank Bigsby isn't yet a thing, and I don't know if he's going to be until maybe Travis Etienne gets hurt. But
yeah, he's 20 carries. It's kind of hard. I think it's Etienne's backfield for the future.
And like Etienne didn't necessarily look super impressive either with those 20 carries. He didn't.
20 carries, 55 yards. Yeah, it's not. That's not good.
I don't know what that is. I'm telling you, like something's off with Jacksonville's offense, and I honestly think that it might be, I think Trevor Lawrence is dealing with some kind of injury. I really do, because it just didn't look right. And I know that the box score says differently, but I didn't think that they looked that good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think his numbers weren't like terrible. 23 for 30, 207 yards, a touchdown. He had a good amount of carries. I just. Where you took Trevor Lawrence too, you probably, that fringe starting. I started Anthony Richardson over him today in another league of mine, so it was a little victory lap there. But I don't know, it's hard. You're still going to start Trevor Lawrence though, no matter what.
Yeah, yeah, because one of these weeks it's going to get figured out. Things are going to start clicking in that office. And it took him a long time to start really rolling last season too. So I think that's something to just keep in your back pocket.
I agree. On to the next game. We have Miami versus Buffalo. Miami 20, Buffalo 48. I'm going to talk about the Miami side of the ball. So Devon Achane is the real thing. I don't think Raheem. I don't know if this is like Devon's backfield now, not Raheem's backfield, but Devon's stat line is 8 carries, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns with 3 receptions. It's crazy how crazy good that guy is. It's insane. Tua didn't do the MVP status of what he is. He had a touchdown and interception today, so his numbers, 15.98 to be exact. And then Tyreek Hill burned a lot of people today, probably. 3 receptions for 58 yards. It was Buffalo's day. Buffalo had their number today, and I don't know if they're the better team or not, but Buffalo did slow them down.
I think Buffalo's the better team. That's what I think.
Okay.
I think that you've seen it now a couple times where Miami plays against a real team, now not Denver, and you see a more real version of what Tua is. You see a more real version of what that offense would be if they're not playing against Denver. You know what I mean? Okay. That's how I see it. And I think that if you really wanted to get like the my take on all of it, because I think the Tua is viable for fantasy. I think he's fine. But I think that you can really predict what you're going to get from him as a weekly streamer. And he's probably the very top end of whatever a weekly streamer would be. That, to me, that's what he is. You can start him every week if you needed to, and I think he'd be fine. I think his floor is probably 15 points. But you're not going to get these gigantic exploding games every week. It's not going to happen, especially when he plays against a better defense. And he's in a strong division. So,
okay.
on the Buffalo side of the ball, Josh Allen looked surgical.
Yeah, he did.
This is the thing that you get with Buffalo, and like, it was more specifically Buffalo's offense. You get like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing on a weekly basis where you don't know who Josh Allen is going to be that week. But I can tell you right now, I that's just all there is to it. Like, he is truly elite.
Yeah.
And man, he was unstoppable.
Yeah, 21 for 25, 320 yards and 4 touchdowns, 44 points. Yeah.
Like, what?
He had himself a day, along with another guy named Stephon Diggs.
Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. So Stephon Diggs had 6 receptions, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Gabe Davis had 3 receptions, 61 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, incredible day.
Yeah, James Cook was fine. He was fine. He didn't hurt you. I think that he was exactly like I think that might be where more of his floor is.
Yeah, but you'll take 14 points every week though from a guy you took in the 7th round. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that was such a good pick. Looking back, like retroactively thinking, that was a good pick. And then if you started the Bills defense this week, I think you would have been fine too. They had a lot of sacks.
Tough start though against Miami.
It would have been a tough start.
Yeah. So on to the next game. It was a winless wonder game of Minnesota versus Carolina. Minnesota 21, Carolina 13. I will start with the Carolina side. Okay. Bryce Young needs to sit. I think there's a lot of nerves. I don't know what it is. I mean, the stat line is 25 for 32, 204 yards. He had 2 carries for 10 yards and then a lost fumble. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was weird. We saw Andy Dalton play, and he made this system very viable. Because I will give Frank Reich credit where it's due. Frank Reich's a very good offensive coordinator. He can make things happen with quarterbacks. He can make them look better than they are. I fully agree with that. Because Adam Thielen is now someone you should be starting now on a weekly basis. He had 7 receptions for 76 yards. And this backfield I want nothing a part of. Miles Sanders went 13 carries for 19 yards, and Chuba Hubbard had 14 carries for 41 yards. So only person I'm starting out of the Carolina side is Adam Thielen, and that's it. And you can take your little victory lap, Ray, because Bryce Young needs to sit.
It's not a little one. So my entire thought process behind Bryce Young right now, and this is for the Panthers as a whole at large, is if they keep rolling Bryce Young out there, he will most likely just be out of the league in a few years. And it's because you're going to get the Sam Darnold kind of mentality from him getting beat the hell up every week because he holds on to the ball a little too long, because he's a little indecisive in what he's looking at. Maybe that's what it is, but I'm going to be real. If Andy Dalton plays this game, the Panthers win this game.
I'm not going to argue against that. I think, let me ask you this. When you're looking at defenses, is Carolina an opponent you're looking for them to play against?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If you made Minnesota's defense look good, yes. If Bryce Young is in the lineup, I would like to have the defense that's playing against him right now.
Right.
That's how I see it. Right. On the Minnesota side of the ball, Justin Jefferson is all that's man. He's all that is. It's crazy.
You are very happy with your first overall pick.
Yes, you're super happy right now. You're pumped. TJ Hawkinson kind of burned you this week. Jordan Addison didn't have a super stellar week. It's pretty clear to me that this is becoming a much more split backfield. It's going to continually progress to that point where it's going to be half and half.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins looked like dog shit if he wasn't throwing to Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I agree. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 12 for 19 for 139 yards. Holy.
Yeah, he didn't have a good day at all. And if it wasn't Justin Jefferson, probably burned you. Better days are ahead. Better days are fine and ahead. To be real, I kind of wish they would have lost this game, because then they would have been in the running for one of these top-end quarterbacks. And I don't think that their team is that bad to get there. But like if the story kept going, maybe they would be, So
yeah, because Caleb with Justin Jefferson would be disgusting. Scary. Scary.
And Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah. You started Jordan Addison, you're probably crying with 0 points on your team. So it's unfortunate. But yeah, we'll talk about that backfield really quickly. So Alexander Madison had 17 carries for 95 yards. My best friend, who's a Vikings fan, calls him a heat-seeking missile towards the offensive lineman. He runs towards the backs. He had so some of these numbers a little bit skewed because he had like 2 big runs that were kind of skewed. But Cam Akers looked like the better back. He had 5 carries for 40 yards. Every time I saw him carry the ball, it looked like he was almost getting a first down. It was crazy. I agree with you. I think Cam Akers actually ends up taking over the backfield sooner rather than later.
Maybe. I don't know because he didn't. So when I say that, like, to me, it looked like they were splitting more carries. Probably because when I'm watching the game, I'm like, hey, they're definitely a difference in yardage, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's really what it was. And you saw Cam Akers on the field at least a little more than I thought he would have been.
Yeah.
So, and to be real, he is a better running back than Alexander Madison.
I agree with that.
There's no question about it. He's always been a better running back than Alexander Madison. I don't know. The Vikings just have this like weird affinity towards Alexander Madison. I don't get it. He's never been that guy. When has he ever shown you ever that he can be that dude? When? I've been saying this for how many years now? He looks like a slower, less athletic version of Dalvin Cook. That's exactly what he looked like the whole time he was ever there. So,
all right.
Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so we're moving on to the next game. Another winless wonder game. Denver and Chicago. Denver 31, Chicago 28. Holy. All right. I will start with Denver side. So I told you Russell Wilson was a streamer candidate of the week, and I'll take another victory lap there. He was 21 for 28, 223 yards and 3 touchdowns. Russell Wilson is not the problem for this team. It is that defense. The scapegoat is gone for him. Vance Joseph needs to get fired, but Javonte, this running back, he got hurt. He only had 2 carries for 3 yards and then a couple receptions for 9. But McLaughlin, their rookie running back, had 7 carries, 72 yards. So if Javonte doesn't, get going this week, he's definitely someone worth picking up. He looked really good. Again, this wide receiver core is weird because Cortland Sutton again leads the team in targets. He was 3 for 33 for 27 and a touchdown. Jerry Jeudy was 3 for 52, and then the rookie Johnson had 1 catch for a touchdown, and then Marvin Mims had 2 catches. So like this team is weird. Judy's gonna have to. You're gonna have to wait and see with Jeudy. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm gonna start anybody from Denver from here on out. It's really tough because he spreads the ball out, but it's tough for Jerry Jeudy owners.
It might just be that we have the answer in front of us and we don't want it or we don't like it. Cortland Sutton's the one. Like that might be the answer, and I think it is. Weird. But is it? Like Cortland Sutton was a dog.
He just got hurt. I mean, I don't know if he looked bad last year. Maybe I'm just thinking because Russell Wilson was bad last year, but like Jeudy did look good down the stretch of those 6 games. So maybe we're just like still in that like nostalgia mode of like Jerry Jeudy looked good, and then Cortland Sutton looked like butt cheeks. But now it might be the opposite. So who knows?
Yeah, I'm just like throwing out ideas because, it's the difficult situation to talk about, right? It's like who is the one, but really the one true pain. And that rookie running back that you were talking about, I can't remember his name right now. McLaughlin. He also added what's his name? McLaughlin. He also added a bunch of receptions too. If you're the Javonte owner, I would definitely think about picking him up on the waivers, and we're going to talk about that next episode for sure. Yeah. Because he looked good. He looks better than Samaje Perine. Tell you that, much better. So, on the Bears side of the ball, look, if you're a Bears fan, you've got to be just throwing up in your own hands. But I think that what you saw today, and again, I know that it's Denver's defense. I know that we just made a big deal about Tua torching them, and I get that like they are a laughingstock right now. Justin Fields looked good.
He did.
That is the Justin Fields that I thought he was going to be coming into the season. And maybe that's what they needed for him to have like this confidence boost. Because it was pretty clear that he was frustrated. You could tell in his body language, and everybody else is frustrated. I do want them to continue to lose so Matt Eberflus loses his job, but like I don't think Justin Fields is the problem. I don't think that.
Yeah, I mean, when you see his numbers today, like 28 for 35, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 carries for 25 yards, like he's not the reason why they lost. They were up 28-7 at halftime, and then it was 28-31 at the end of the game. Like I don't their offensive coordinator is not the greatest. Flus doesn't know how to make adjustments. I mean, I really don't know. This backfield is, I guess, still Khalil Herbert's after today too. Like 18 carries, 100 yards. Can't be upset with that. And then DJ Moore for all those DJ Moore owners, man, you're super excited. 8 receptions, 131 yards, a touchdown. Like, this is what the game you've been waiting for.
This is not going to be every week. I'm still I gotta sit here and marinate on him if I'm going to start Justin Fields going forward. I really got to think about it.
Okay.
Because
I mean,
Denver really makes a lot of people look good.
Yeah, they do.
So
yes, they do. Is Cole Kmet candidate? I mean, 9 targets, 7 receptions, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns, or is that a fluke game?
Fluke game so far.
All right, fair enough. Let me tell you something. Chicago owns the number 1 and number 2 overall pick in the draft.
Dude, that would be such a Bears thing to do, to go and get Caleb Williams. It really would. It would be such a Bears thing to do. But can I?
You have to. You have to, though. You trade away Justin Fields at that point, and you get Caleb, and you get Marvin Harrison Jr., and you restart that franchise. And I'm sorry, Packers and Lions and Vikings fans, you're screwed, because that is a deadly combo I want no part to face of.
That would also mean that they would have DJ Moore there too. So you'd have DJ Moore, you'd have Marvin Harrison Jr. That'd be a
very scary offense.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I wonder what they would get for Justin Fields right now. I don't even know what they would get. There's people have to be fielding offers right now.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know what I'm going to do with Justin Fields yet. So
okay,
tune back in tomorrow, and we'll talk about what we're going to do with him tomorrow.
All right. And then this game it sucked because it looked like it was going to be good, but then unfortunately Deshaun Watson, the news came out that he was injured on Friday practice. He threw 1 pass, and that was it. So Dorian Thompson-Robinson made a start. So Baltimore 28, Cleveland 3. The Baltimore side, Lamar had himself a game. 15 for 19, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, then 2 touchdowns on the ground for 9 carries and 27 yards. This backfield, again, it's Gus's backfield because he had the bulk carries, but when they're near the end zone, it's Lamar. Lamar's running it in every time, so it's kind of hard. You would start Gus Edwards, but don't expect a goal line carry. Zay Flowers, I mean, 3 receptions, 56 yards. I mean, not the greatest out of that, but this is Mark Andrews' day. 5 catches, 5 targets, 80 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So for all the Mark Andrews holders and truthers and Ray, he caught up to TJ today.
So, yeah, he did.
Yeah, Aaron's smiling somewhere right now.
I didn't like to see it. Let me tell you. Didn't like to see it. I don't know. This was a game you needed from Lamar, though. You needed it because to this point, Lamar hadn't been what you really drafted him to be. It probably most likely your fourth round pick or something like that. He hadn't been that yet. Today he was. And that's on a good defense. It's on a really good defense. On Cleveland's side of the ball, Jerome Ford, once again, did not look necessarily super good. Got hurt. What do you do with Kareem Hunt?
I mean, if you spent waiver wire money, it's unfortunate because I still think it's Jerome Ford's backfield. I think he's just a better talented guy. I think today sucked because no Deshaun Watson. So, trying to Baltimore stacked the box, forcing him to throw, and he just didn't do good. I mean, he's a rookie, and starting your first rookie game against the Ravens defense, regardless of them having injuries on side, Ravens have really good defense. So it just sucked. Sucked for Cleveland guys for Cleveland. Like Amari Cooper, 1 catch for 16 yards. Elijah Moore, 2 catch for 20 yards. I mean, the guy who led the team in targets and reception was David Njoku, who was almost a game time decision because I don't know if you saw him walking in today. Did you see him wear that full face mask because he had a cooking accident where he burned his face and his hands?
How do you have
I don't know. You should go up and look it up. For all people listening, go look it up when he walked in today. He literally wore a full rubber mask into the game.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not much to talk about on Cleveland's side of the ball. They without Deshaun Watson, DTR is not ready to be that guy. And you know what's crazy is I was kind of excited to see what he could do.
I was too. I was like, okay, like, this guy had a really good preseason, and
He's fun.
Yeah, he was a fun guy to watch. So it just goes to show the difference levels of preseason talent compared to real NFL talent.
Yeah, and like we weren't like under any impressions that he was going to go take this job. But like it would have been cool, like to see him ball out. He did not ball out. So, what's the next game we got?
We got Pittsburgh versus Houston, which was the upset. Pittsburgh 6, Houston 30. I will start with the Houston side. CJ Stroud is a must start from here on out. He is legit. Probably rookie of the year candidate. He's got to be number one right now. 18 for 30, 308 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 carries for 16 yards. This guy makes his receivers a viable option. Nico Collins, man, it's going to be one of the guys. I don't know if they'll rotate between him and Tank Dell, but Nico Collins, 7 receptions, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. If you did start Tank Dell, it's unfortunate. It just wasn't his game because Nico Collins is wide open all day, every day. He only had 1 catch for 16 yards. Nothing really else. Dalton Schultz had a touchdown. But I don't think anybody was starting Dalton Schultz. Everyone kind of got moved off of him. And then Dameon Pierce had a good amount of carries, 24 carries for 81 yards, just no touchdown. But yeah, CJ Stroud is a must start from here on out.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, if you were struggling for quarterback and you happen to land on that, you're looking good now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Again, 25 carries for 80 yards. That's telling me that it was tough sledding for Dameon Pierce, and they had a hard time running the ball. And I watched a little bit of that game. Like I was in and out of that game, and it didn't look like it was easy for them to run the ball. So they're just going to have to throw constantly.
They're still missing some of their offensive linemen. So, I mean, makes a big difference. But
yeah. Today it looked the best that it has on the ground for them so far.
Okay.
Yeah. On Pittsburgh's side of the ball, me and Brennan have different opinions of this. I think that Kenny Pickett is part of the problem. I really do believe that. And he's not helping this team win. I understand that it's probably play calling as well, and I agree with you, Brennan. It definitely is, but it also falls on Kenny Pickett to make some plays and make some throws and have better decisions and stop getting so flustered in the pocket. My God. But he did get hurt at the end of this game. I'm not sure how serious that injury is.
They said he should be okay next week. It was like a knee joint. They didn't sound too worried from what it sounded like. I mean, I don't know if they're just trying to weather the storm of what the possibilities are, but they didn't seem like too worried. I tried to look into this a little bit, but they just didn't seem. But Mitch Trubisky got some snaps in this game.
Yeah, he couldn't put weight on it. So how good could it possibly be?
I don't know. I mean, I still think Jalen Warren's a better back of this backfield. I don't care.
Today was the best that Najee Harris has ever looked.
Yes.
That was it.
14 carries, 71 yards.
Today was his best game visually that I can remember. George Pickens probably hurt you pretty bad. Pat Freiermuth probably hurt you pretty bad.
3 catches for 7 yards. Yeah, that's awful.
So the Pittsburgh defense hurt you pretty bad. Better days are ahead, but today was not that day.
I agree. On to the next one. Unfortunately, this was a heartbreaker for myself. Rams 29, Colts 23. I will start with the Colts ball. Anthony Richardson, if you had any doubts, you should not have any doubts. The dude is legit. 11 for 25, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 10 carries for 56 yards and a touchdown on the ground. This was Zach Moss's last game starting, so unfortunately, if you did start him today, he didn't do anything to help you. It was playing catch-up, so he had 18 carries for 70 yards. And Michael Pittman burned you today. He only had that 1 catch for 15 yards and a 2-point conversion catch. But other than that, man, Anthony Richardson's legit. I love him. I'm very happy we have him, and you should be happy that he's on your fantasy team.
Definitely. I'm super pumped in a lot of the other leagues that I'm in. I'm pumped because I have Anthony Richardson. I took him super late. On the other side of the ball, for the Rams, I just wanted to point something out. And I don't know how you're feeling about this, and I think that it's pretty pertinent. And again, we've talked about this last Sunday and the Sunday before that. We've been talking about this a lot. But, there's an impending situation of Cooper Kupp coming back. And to me, I think I think Puka's still gonna be just as viable as he is now. Like,
I agree.
he's not going anywhere. This isn't
No.
like you don't get that much volume. I don't give a shit if Cooper Kupp was there or not.
He's at 40 receptions through 4 games, and I think he's on pace to beat the rookie record. And he's the only guy right now, in my opinion, who could give CJ Stroud a run for his money for Rookie of the Year.
I think he should be in that conversation. I mean, CJ Stroud's going to win it because he's a quarterback, but like,
yes,
I think that like Puka he is a legitimate threat every time they're throwing the ball, and how
he was
I'm
wide
seeing,
open.
oh, he's always open, always. Same with Cooper Kupp. This is the question I have to ask you: when Cooper Kupp comes back, is the Rams offense going to be that deadly? Because Kyron Williams is real.
Yeah, I think they'll be a very tough team to beat because their offense will be so potent. But I will point out that Matt Stafford does have a hip issue. Like he was like hobbling to finish this game. But he's always hurt. He's always hurt.
He's always hurt.
When Cooper Kupp comes back, I do expect this to be like what you saw when Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods were really good. I think you won't have an issue starting either or. Now, temper the expectations of what you see from Puka getting 9 catches for 160 yards and a touchdown. I definitely say temper that. I'll say it gets close to like, I don't know, like 6 to 7 for 80
5
yards.
for 80. Yeah, 5 for 80.
You're still stoked on that because you picked him up or you drafted him damn near last into your draft, and he's a stellar pick, and you're still going to start him as a wide receiver too and be super happy.
Now, this is the other side of this, and this is the optimistic side of what my brain wants to say because I have a lot of shares of Puka right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is just what I hope. That right now, Puka's got to be seen rolled coverage to him. He has to be. There's no way that.
I was frustrated that we did not even double coverage him. It was stupid. I was so frustrated watching this game.
But you see what I'm saying? Like there has to be a defensive coordinator looking at tape and saying, "Hey, this guy is an issue. We need to do something about this." There's no way that's not happening. So you're saying that when Cooper Kupp comes back, I would obviously say that Cooper Kupp is a better receiver than Puka right now. I think that's true. There's no way that you don't think that.
You can't argue that, yeah.
Defensive coordinators are going to have to roll coverage to him. Mm-hmm. So that means Puka is going to have a lot more one-on-one opportunities and times where he could just be a target monster. And it's going to roll back and forth. And I really think that they're going to be both super viable. That's the optimistic version of me. That's what I think.
I don't think it's just straight optimism. I think it's an actual thing. I think if Cooper Kupp is actually healthy, because he's supposed to start practicing this week, and hopefully the hamstrings are fine. If they are fine and he is perfectly healthy, you could honestly, if you had Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, I don't think you could start one. You could start both of them. Honestly, I don't, and I would not hold that against you because I think both could legitimately eat.
Yeah, they could both be receiver ones every week. They really could. Yes. That's really all I had. I mean, the pieces that you had, Matt Stafford was great. Puka was great. I think Tutu had a down week this week. I can't remember his
game. It wasn't that great. He had, let me see here. He had 5 catches for 24 yards.
I thought he had 6 catches.
Yeah.
I got to watch a lot of that game, and Kyron looks real. He's a weekly start. Yeah. A must start every week. What do we got next?
Next game, we have Tampa versus New Orleans. Tampa 26, New Orleans 9. I will start with New Orleans side of the ball. Derek Carr looked rough. 23 for 37, 127 yards, and a fumble lost. Alvin Kamara, if you waited for him, you're super happy because he had 13 catches for 33 yards.
Exactly what we were saying last episode. You're going to be pumped when you get Alvin Kamara. Look at what the hell happened, because that's what Derek Carr was doing, was just dumping the ball off, but to receiving backs that weren't anywhere near as good as Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. It's just, I think Derek Carr needs to sit. He's just not healthy. I watched a little bit of this game. Chris Olave had 1 catch for 4 yards. Ray can tell you how he really feels about that, but yeah, he burned a lot of people today. This is just a bad game for the Saints side. I mean, Derek Carr he looks injured. He played injured, and it just showed.
I will say that there was 2 touchdown passes that Chris Olave should have caught. 2.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. One went right through his hands. It's one of those weeks. Just throw this game away. Yep. On the Tampa Bay side of the ball, we were talking about it earlier. Mike Evans might be dealing with a hamstring injury. Definitely something to monitor. Baker makes his team better than what we were thought.
They have 3 wins. It's about what I thought they were going to have this season. So, I mean, I mean, I think. Do you think Cleveland made a mistake letting Baker go?
I thought it was premature.
Okay,
I thought it was.
Yeah, I think someone pointed out that like when he had that injury and like his numbers and like how it was drastically bad compared to when he was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a little interesting to think about that side. But
obviously you're thinking about it with hindsight in mind,
yes, of course,
because like when he went to the Rams, he looked good, and when he came in, he looked good, and he's looked good so far for Tampa Bay. Now, I'm not saying that like this is like the resurrection of Baker's career and he's all world and like that, but like he's definitely better than what I thought he was going to be. Like 100% better. Like there's no way you can say that, not say that. It helps that he has a really good receiving core. Chris Godwin has been super involved. Mike Evans is having one of his better starts to any season that he's had in a long time. Rachaad White still viable, still, you can roll him out
still
there.
Hanging on. 15 carries for 56 yards, and then a couple of receptions for 22 yards. Again, you're gonna start him where you draft him. He's your RB2. It is what it is. So
yeah, he's where I thought he'd be. Honestly, that's the only thing that I've seen so far that I'm like, oh, that makes sense to me. So
yes. On to the next game. This game was a shootout. It was actually really close. Washington 31, Philly 34. This was a get-right game for, I guess you could say, Jalen Hurts in regards to throwing. He was 25 for 37, 319 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gave you 28 points. This is DeAndre Swift backfield, 14 carries, 56 yards. I mean, a touchdown. And then A.J. Brown, man, 9 catches, 175 yards, and 2 touchdowns for 40 points. Yeah, this is a good game for Philly. I do want to mention something. Dallas Goedert. It's pretty frustrating for the Dallas Goedert owners. Again, 2 catches, 25 yards, but this was just AJ Brown's day, man. It just happens. I don't know if Dallas Goedert will have his games, but it's not looking good so far.
I don't think that with the amount of weapons that are on this team, and like with DeAndre Swift finally like getting that recognition that I think he should have got. Dallas Goedert might be like the 4 on this team, and like, what's that volume look like? It's probably exactly what we've seen so far, not great.
Couple catches, yards.
Yeah, like you might just be getting that, which 4 catches, 40, 50 yards, you're still a tight end 1, just not a great tight end 1, like you're still a tight end 1. I promise you he is.
Yep. That's funny.
Yeah. And Philly's defense, although giving up 30 points, was still
sacks.
Still fine because they sacked the shit out of Sam Howell. On the Commanders side of the ball, Brian Robinson is a trade target if you can get a hold of him, an absolute must start every week. I love Brian Robinson, and he runs tough. He had that fumble in the goal line right there.
Yeah.
But right before that, he put that dude on a t-shirt. My God. He gave that guy the business.
And then unfortunately the fumble was Terry was excited.
Yeah, you got a touchdown from Terry, and like you didn't think you were going to get one. Yeah. Terry was probably the worst option of the 3 out of this game.
No, not at all. Terry had 8 catches, 86 yards, 22 points. You're thinking of Jahan Dotson.
Oh yeah, Jahan. Sorry, they're so similarly sized. I'm like, I get it, but he did have a touchdown too.
Yes,
he did have that last second touchdown was great.
Yes, he saved you if you did start him. He had 4 before that. He only had 3 receptions for 18 yards. That one made it 4 for 27 and a touchdown. So
yeah,
that touchdown did resurrect your day.
Yeah, and Curtis Samuel's more involved than I thought he was ever going to be. Antonio Gibson, you can just go ahead and take that and throw that right in the trash. You don't need that anymore. That's not something that's ever going to be a thing anymore. So
I fully agree with that. But yeah, close game. Phillies 4-0. Moving on. On to the next game. This is a team I will talk about heavily. Cincy 3, Tennessee Titans 27. Joe Burrow looks bad. This offense looks bad. Changes will happen. I don't know if the offensive coordinator will be fired. I don't know if Zach Taylor will be fired. I don't know what it is. Something will happen drastically because Joe Burrow was 20 for 30, 165 yards, no touchdowns. Derrick Henry had a passing touchdown, and Joe Burrow had 0 passing touchdowns today. That's how, if you're starting Joe Burrow, I don't know if you can anymore. I think you need to look for another option because it is bad. Where you took Jamar Chase being number 2, 3 overall, didn't kill you. 7 receptions, 73 yards, but I don't know what it is. because now T. Higgins is going to be sidelined for a couple of weeks. Tyler Boyd, I don't know if he'll be an option, but for 4 catches for 26 yards, yeah, this offense looks terrible, and I don't know where it starts and begins because Joe Mixon had an okay day, 14 carries, 67 yards. But yeah, I'm not. Are you starting Joe Burrow next week?
No.
Are you starting? Is he? What are you doing with him?
I don't even want to. I want to cut him, but you can't. There's no way you can.
No,
you can't.
The name alone holds too much value.
I would bench him and just hang on and see if that offense gets turned around.
Josh Dobbs or Joe Burrow?
Josh Dobbs. 100% of the way. Josh Dobbs.
Oh my God, that just sounds so gross.
It's so stupid, but I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong because Josh Dobbs looks really good.
That's crazy good. So like for the Tyler Boyd truther out there and me, and for those out there that, you're on the same boat, because of how bad this offense looks, I'm not going and rushing out to get Tyler Boyd because T. Higgins is out. I'm not doing that.
No.
You've seen that it's only going to be one of them that's good.
Yes.
And I'm going to bank on Jamar Chase being the one that's good.
I agree.
I don't want any other part of this offense. And I think if I had to put my name in a hat to say why this offense looks so bad, man, their offensive line is not helping Joe Burrow out at all.
No.
In any way, shape, or form. No. But Joe Burrow also isn't helping himself out. He's holding on to the ball a little too long.
I agree.
And I think it's because he can't get around in the pocket because he's actually still really hurt.
Yes.
And should have went to IR.
I agree.
If I had to say it, because I watched almost all that game. Because that's what Red Zone likes to do. They like to put on the worst game and keep it on there for the longest period of time. So yeah, that's how I view that team. For the Tennessee side of the ball, this is probably the best game you're going to get from Ryan Tannehill. He's not a streamer. Don't ever think about doing it.
Nope.
DeAndre Hopkins didn't kill you with 10 points. Wasn't like the worst game you could have got, but Derrick Henry finally looked like Derrick Henry. Finally.
Ran like a monster.
Finally. But does that happen next week? You're not benching him. You're never going to bench him. But
they play the Colts. He plays us tough, so you still start him where you took him. So
you don't start Tajay Spear right now?
No, he's not a start just yet. It's if Derrick Henry gets hurt, you definitely start him. So but
yes.
Yeah, on to the next game. This game was pretty close. Chargers did Chargers things as always at the end, but they still pulled it out. It was the Raiders 17, Chargers 24. I will start with the Chargers side. Justin Herbert had a really good game. He had one really bad throw, but other than that, he was 13 for 24, 167 yards, touchdown, and then a couple carries for 27 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns on the ground. So you're really excited for that. I will say this. Keenan Allen needs Mike Williams because when Mike Williams in the field, Keenan Allen feasts. When Keenan Allen is by himself with just Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnson, he's not what you're hoping for. He saved you because he had a touchdown today. He had 3 receptions, 32 yards, and a touchdown. Josh Palmer had the most targets. He had 8 targets compared to Keenan Allen's 5. So you started Josh Palmer, which I said he was. He got you 10 points. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's Keenan Allen. I would temper your expectations with Keenan Allen for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm not starting a Chargers running back until Eckler comes back. Yeah. I'm not doing it. Josh Kelly looks awful.
Yes,
he looks awful. It's just crazy because he looks so good week 1. He looks so good. He's not that guy. That's not him. That was somebody else.
You're not that guy, pal.
That was somebody else dressed as Josh Palmer, or I'm sorry, as Joshua Kelly. Is there any point in talking about the Raiders side of the ball? We didn't even talk about that.
I mean, Josh Jacobs had a breakout game. He had you.
I guess so.
27 points, and then Devontae Adams didn't kill you. So, but yeah, Aiden O'Connell,
the Raiders probably win that game if Jimmy G's playing.
I could see that. Yeah, because the Chargers do dumb things like let's do a 4th and 1 QB rush when my quarterback has possibly a broken middle finger. That was just insane.
Or like to seal the game. Hey, let's run a go route and throw it as far down the field as we can. Let's do that.
The balls on Herbert to throw that.
It was a hell of a throw, to be honest.
It was.
Like, what are you doing? There's so many times where I'm like, why do the Chargers not want to win this game? What do they want to lose this game for?
Chargers fans, I'm with you. Brandon Staley needs to get fired like tomorrow.
So stupid.
Yeah.
There's for the Raiders side of the ball, there's no other viable pieces other than Devontae right now that I want to start, except Jacoby Myers is a dog. He's real. If they can, for dynasty purposes, he is absolutely somebody I'm really excited about in the future.
Okay.
Because I think the Raiders are going to be getting one of these quarterbacks.
I agree with that. Oh boy, this was a blowout. This wasn't much of a game. New England 3, Dallas 38. I'll just say this. This was Dallas's defensive game. They put up 28 points because they had 2 interceptions and a pick six, a fumble recovery for a touchdown. And they kicked the shit out of Mac Jones all game long. Jacob Ferguson, who I said that you could start for the stream, which I was, again, victory lap, 7 receptions, 77 yards. For all the guys, you got lucky CD got that touchdown. But like Dak didn't have a great game. Tony Pollard burned you because they were up by so much they didn't really need to do anything else with him. Yeah, this is just a blowout game.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it for Dallas side of the ball. Like, I'm not excited to start in Dak right now.
He's okay. He's viable. This game's just so out of hand. Excuse me.
Yeah, but also like when he
plays San Francisco next week.
Really not excited to start Dak next week. I'm not. Like,
all right.
Probably not going to do that. He's going to probably be a sit for me. On the other side of the ball, there's nothing really to talk about New England right now, except for the fact that it is so clear that Mac Jones is not a good quarterback. It's so clear. And like, I don't know why it's taken so long for Bill Belichick to just pull him and put Bailey Zappi in. Like, what are you doing? How many picks did he have to throw? How many picks did Mac Jones have to throw? Stupid ass across the body, across the field throws that got picked off and taken to the house before you're like, hey, pal, you're not that good. Here's some bench. Find it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Bailey Zappi on that team makes everything so much better. So,
yeah. What do you do with Ramondre?
You keep rolling him out there because the running back landscape right now sucks the worst that it could suck.
I think their schedules played a part of it, though. They played the Eagles. They played the Cowboys, who have a really good one. I forgot the other games. But they played really tough teams, and it's just been tough for them. The fact that they have, I think the fact that they have a win, out of those 4 games is impressive for them. So the Jets played them super tough too. So
when you say that they played these teams that were tough, did Brian Robinson have those issues?
Brian Robinson? No, I guess you can see that. Yeah.
Just wanted to point that out. I think Ramondre's fine, but like he's probably hurting you in the fact that like you wanted much more from him.
I agree. On to the next game, man. This team doesn't quit, but Arizona 16, San Francisco 35. I'll start with San Fran's side. If you face Chris McCaffrey, I'm sorry you lost. He had 50 points, 20 carries for 108 yards, 106 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7 receptions for 71 yards, another touchdown. He could have gotten a 5th one, but they decided not to give it to him for some odd reason. They just let Brock Purdy run it in, I believe, or it was somebody else. He had a rushing touchdown because it could have been CMC's 5th touchdown. Brock Purdy is one of the most accurate quarterbacks. He makes this game look stupid easy. He was 20 for 21, 283 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Ayuk is clearly the better option there. He had 6 receptions, 148 yards. This show is a pro Brandon Ayuk show because Debo had 0 targets. He only was carrying me because he's injured, so they just kind of put him out there as a decoy. But it is Brandon Ayuk's show.
Do you think that Christian McCaffrey should win MVP?
If the San Francisco is the number 1 team in the NFC and he does 2,000 yards from scrimmage and 20 touchdowns, absolutely, no questions asked.
He's not going to.
Because it's a quarterback award, though. Unfortunately,
yeah,
you need to have a quarterback award and then an actual MVP.
Yeah, they mentioned it on the broadcast, and I was like, that's never going to happen. Stop, it's not going to happen. Yeah. But like, it should, because he is that offense. He really is.
100% is.
And he makes everybody so much better because he's there. And it's so that one rushing touchdown that he had out of the 4 that he had, where he like slightly hurdled that guy to the side. I don't know how he saw that guy. Like,
he's just good, man.
He's just so damn good. What's it like to be that good at something?
I don't know.
I don't know. I hate that San Francisco's going to be that good for that long. It's because they're going to be. They're going to be good for forever. Is that the last game we had?
No, we have one more, but with Arizona side.
Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot about.
You're just mesmerized by San Francisco's skill talent. I know.
Correct. Josh Dobbs is the streamer, and take my little victory lap on Hollywood Brown being a good candidate to put in your lineups this week. He was solid. Yeah. Zach Ertz is not. He didn't get really any kind of burn. And who is number 14 for Arizona?
Their rookie. It's Michael Wilson.
He's a name that I want to really maybe put in everybody's mind. He looked really, really good.
Yeah, he did. 7 catches. Yeah, 7 catches. Defense. Let's see, 7 catches, 76 yards, and 2 touchdowns today. 26 points.
He looked really good, and I haven't seen him on the field very much. And Arizona's fun to watch. They're
a fun team to watch. They are, because they don't quit. They're gonna just keep running the ball. James Conner wanted to fight Tufanga after the game. You know.
Yeah. James Conner probably hurt you a little bit. He didn't help you that much, but better days are ahead.
I agree.
That Wilson guy though, just throwing a name out there, putting it out in the ether. If you guys are still sticking around, this is how those you need to pick those guys up kind of starts. And I think that he might be monitoring.
I agree. And then the next game, the last game we just watched, Kansas City 23, New York Jets 20. This was probably Mahomes' worst game I've seen him play since the AFC Championship game against the second half against the Cincinnati Bengals. He was throwing really, really terrible passes, like just blatant interceptions that were awful. He didn't kill you. He got you 15 points because he ran the ball a lot on the ground. Isaiah Pacheco had himself a game, though. 26 points, 20 carries, 115 yards, and then 3 receptions for 43 yards with a touchdown. And then Travis Kelce, I think 12 points, 6 receptions, 60 yards. But yeah, this is a very good game. I know you're talking about the Jets side, but I guess like Aaron Rodgers decided to be Zach Wilson in disguise a little bit.
Some parts of me think that Aaron Rodgers had a mic and was telling Zach Wilson what to do.
Yeah.
Some parts of me think that. Because Zach Wilson didn't look like Zach Wilson tonight.
No, he looked like a totally different person.
Zach Wilson looked like a really good quarterback tonight.
He looked like a very good backup quarterback.
He looked like a starting quarterback tonight.
All right, I'm not gonna go that far. He did look good tonight. Yes,
better than I think he's ever looked in the history of his life. I will say that if I have to sit there and watch Zach Wilson hyper target Garrett Wilson for absolutely nothing one more time, I'm gonna probably take a spoon to my eyeballs. Like it hurts me and pains me so much to know how big of a game Garrett Wilson could have with a better quarterback. But Zach Wilson did look good. Honestly, he did. He plays like that for every week. The Jets are going to be very difficult to beat.
Yeah. You started Garrett Wilson though, right? I mean, 14 targets. 9 catches for 60 yards. You can't be upset with it. For what you're getting out of you knew once Aaron Rodgers went down, it was like this is honestly where he was. I was like, all right, this is it's not terrible. I'm not upset with it. It could be worse. So
yeah, you're still rolling them out there if you don't have a better option to put out, and that's what I'd like you guys to put in the comments. I'll answer all the Garrett Wilson questions you want, but because he could have had a huge day. He that one drop or overthrown touchdown pass on the sideline that could have changed everything, and he would have been having a really good day. But I don't know, man. It's so tough. It's so tough to say because I view him as a middle of the pack wide receiver 2 right now, and that sucks.
Yeah,
sucks because
you can tell talented.
Yes. It's anything else for this game?
No, I got nothing.
I hate fantasy football sometimes. All right, guys. Well, if you guys stuck around this long, we appreciate you guys spending the time with us that you have. I know that it's Monday when you guys are watching this, hopefully, or maybe Tuesday if you guys wanted to catch up on some other stuff. But As always, please hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe. Let us know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. And until next time, we will see